Yo, what is good YouTube? Mad Dubs here, back with another video, guys, and we have some breaking news, highlights, observations here of the final day of the Cleveland Browns and minicamp period. Now, they're on summer break. They will not be back into training camp until, July, August. That's when things will start ramping up again. But in this video, I want to break down some of the biggest takeaways and some of the biggest standouts over the Cleveland Browns over a couple of weeks of minicamp and OTAs. However, before we get into this video, though, I need you guys to do me a huge favor and smash that like button. You guys always go so crazy. Let's see if we get it up to 700 likes. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm going to be covering the entirety of the NFL offseason, which includes the rest of free agency, training camp, preseason, regular season, whatever it may be. I got you guys covered. So if you guys want to see more Cleveland Browns content, make sure you guys join the family and turn on post notifications so you're notified every time we drop a video. Now, one other thing I want to note before we talk about the three standouts of camp is, listen, this was just OTAs. This was just mini camp. There's no pads. There's no 11-on-11s. There's no contact. So take everything in this video with a grain of salt. Just because someone is looking good doesn't mean they will be amazing come preseason, regular season time. But a first impression does mean a lot. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. And the first guy I really want to talk about, somebody who has really stood out over the first few, days of OTAs, is Elijah Moore. Now, as you all know, Elijah Moore was recently acquired from the New York Jets. And they didn't really give up too much. I think this was a perfect trade here for Elijah Moore. Now, Elijah Moore is a former high draft pick wide receiver that went to the Jets and now is coming over here, and expect him to have a major role. Now, the reason I think he's going to have a major role is just the ability, his talent overall, but realistically, they put him all over the lineup here during the first couple weeks of minicamp. Now, he was lined up in the slot. He was lined up on the outside. He was lined up even in the backfield. They want to get him the football, and they will get him the football. Deshaun Watson is already making it a priority to get him the ball early over, short intermediate routes, screen passes in the backfield, end arounds. They want to get this man the football. Now, that just shows right away he's going to be, someone that they can rely on going forward. Like I said, he was explosive in college, high draft pick, didn't really get the fair share of opportunity in New York, and now he's coming over here, and look for him to get a lot of targets. And, the Browns have a ton of weapons already, so it's not like opposing defenses can double team him. They have Amari Cooper, they have DPJ, they have Marquise Goodwin, Cedric Tillman, David Bell, Jakeem Grant, Anthony Schwartz. All those guys have been breaking or looking good so far in camp. But one guy who is kind of unexpected, someone's been breaking out, Jalen Darden. Now, as we all know, Jalen Darden is a 4th-round pick by the Buccaneers back in 2021. Now, Darden is looking good. He's building a lot of chemistry with Deshaun Watson. I don't know if he's going to end up making the team, but that's just one name that you guys need to keep an eye on going forward. He's someone that looked good, and you have a guy like Anthony Schwartz, who's a former 3rd-round pick, but he might not be here next year. I mean, he struggled to make any sort of impact throughout his career so far in Cleveland. So he is someone I believe that, potentially could be traded going forward, or, even released from the team. He's not a lock to make the 53-man roster, but Jalen Darden's a guy who has showed out, caught a bunch of touchdown passes from Deshaun Watson in the 7-on-7s that they've had so far. So that's something to keep an eye on going forward in a training camp. It is a crowded wide receiver room, but Jalen Darden has the skill set and the ability to actually be a very good wide receiver in the league. So we need to make sure we keep an eye on him and see what he can do going into training camp. Now, one more guy I want to talk about really quickly is Darius Smith. Now, Darius Smith, listen, there's not too much to talk about because we all know how great of a player he really is. But, it's early. Like I said, there's no pads, there's no contact, so it's very difficult to see, any defenders really get their name pushed out. It's hard for defenders to make some noise in this part of camp just because, like I said, no pads, there's nothing really going on. They have individual drills, but that's about it. So, Darius Smith, even with all that being said, he's looked athletic, he looked young. Listen, this dude is going to be insanely good paired up with a guy like Myles Garrett. You got Dalvin Tomlinson. I mean, this front seven is absolutely stacked. And you have a guy like Jim Schwartz who, plans to use these guys in various different packages, including the combinations that they can bring out with Myles Garrett and Darius Smith. And you got, Ogbo coming over from, I think, the Texans, I believe. So it's going to be a handful for, opposing teams to game plan or strategize against these guys because there's so many of them that that can get to the quarterback, that can help stop the run, and just make plays all over the field. Now, one more thing I want to talk about is some of the takeaways that I saw during the first couple of days of OTAs and the reports that I've seen. Everything is looking good for Deshaun Watson. I mean, he's building chemistry with all of these wide receivers, and they're just making him feel comfortable. Now, as you all know, last season, Watson didn't get a full offseason due to the fact that he was suspended. So this year, he comes in here, he's starting to build chemistry with Elijah Moore, Marquise Goodwin, Jordan Atkins, Cedric Tillman. All are great players. All are good players who are looking to be great in their career. And they have a quarterback in Deshaun Watson who has proven in the past that he can be a very good quarterback. So everything is looking good right now. If I had to break down three of the biggest standouts in the wide receiver room, it would be Elijah Moore, Marquise Goodwin, and Jalen Darden. Those guys are looking incredible. Those are some names you want to watch out for. And then in terms of defense, we already talked about the front seven a little bit, but the defensive backs look good as well. This has been a storyline that we've seen pretty much throughout the entirety of OTAs and minicamp. These guys look interchangeable. They have a new guy in Juan Thornhill who is, adds a whole new dynamic and energy to the field that they haven't had in the past. You got, a guy coming over on Roddy McLeod who, formerly played with Jim Schwartz over in Philadelphia, I believe it was. So we just saw a lot of different things from this defense here, and I think Schwartz will actually help this defense. Overall, you got Greg Newsome, you got Martin Emerson, you got Denzel Ward. There's a bunch of guys on this team that can play multiple different positions, which I think is very it's key. It's key. They needed that. They got that. And it's going to be interesting to see who ends up, starting in the secondary. You got Emerson. You got Denzel Ward. You got Greg Newsome, Juan Thornhill. Let me know in the comment section down below, who do you guys believe will be the starters in the secondary? Let me know in the comment section down below. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Join the family. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Today's video is brought to you by ProClass, the absolute best place for you to take your game to the highest level. It's the first of its kind sports training and development platform where you can reach your highest potential by learning from some of the best athletes on the entire planet. Some of these guys include Damian Lillard, De'Aaron Fox, Allen Iverson, DeMar DeRozan, and so many more. And I have some great news for you guys. If you guys go use my code MattyDubs, you'll get 50% off hundreds of training videos, workouts, and drills, and you can get in the lab right now. So go check it out. Go steal some of the secrets from some of the top players in the world right now. And if you are interested in developing your skills at any level, if you play in middle school, high school, college, or if your goal is just to be a better athlete, a better basketball player, this is where you need to go. Nobody else does this. Go check them out, and you can learn, develop your skills at a fast pace, high speed level. Click the link in the description for instant access to all of the secrets in the world. And remember, using code MattyDubs will get you 50% off right now, so don't miss out on this offer.